Hi, welcome to my channel where we question everything. Today's topic is bits and pieces, and we're gonna finally the culprit about the Nord Stream pipeline has been revealed. Now, if you follow my channel and if you watch some of the videos, I made a couple of videos regarding the Nord Stream sabotage event. But as a small summary, a short summary, I will leave links to those videos. But as a short summary, in September, the Nord Stream pipelines were blown up, and there's regions of Sweden and Denmark and so, and there was an investigation launched. Basically, both Nord Stream 1 pipelines have been destroyed, and one of Nord Stream 2 pipeline has been destroyed. Now, all the pipelines were full of gas, and all that gas had to be vented out of the pipe. And these are kilometers and kilometers of pipes, and the diameter of these pipes was about 1.2 meters. So you can think about the volume of gas that has to be vented and escape into the atmosphere. And actually, that would have been a huge loss for the Russian Gazprom supplier. Well, there were some drones sent down to the depth about of 80 meters. And they found that a section of about 200 to 250 meters of these pipes were gone. And that is about it. There was a report issued by the Swedish, the Swedish authorities and the Danish authorities and the German authorities should have worked together, but at the end of the day they decided no, each one's going to have its own investigation, and Sweden and Denmark released a report and then only confirmed that it basically was a sabotage event. And Russia only got a single opportunity. It was firstly barred from entering or doing its own investigations, and delay tactics were used by the Swedish and Danish authorities for the Russians not to inspect it, but at the end of the day, they did a single inspections and basically reported back on what they saw. There were some traces found of explosives on these pipelines, so whoever may recover those explosives samples could have determined from what source it came from and who did it. Now, if you look back at the history for the last, say, 12 to 14 months, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline was actually built in conjunction with the German companies and the Russian companies in order to provide an alternative supply line to Germany itself. And the main reason was that the pipelines that are located in Ukraine, Russia usually pumped gas via a pipeline in Ukraine to the rest of Europe, then sometimes just through Poland, from Poland to Germany, and etc. and etc. But these pipelines have been built in the Soviet era already, and they were also getting old, and they were, because Ukraine was fairly corrupt and so on, the Russians noticed that a lot of gas was actually stolen and siphoned off before it reached their final client, and that was also not a very kosher event. And that is one of the reasons why this Nord Stream 2 pipeline was actually built. But the situation changed. America was always against the implementation of the Nord Stream pipelines, Nord Stream Pipeline 2, and basically advocated that this pipeline will never get into production or in operation, and they pressured the German government not to certify it. That was end of last year, because America was afraid that Russia and Germany will get together and become an industrial powerhouse. Germany with its technology and manufacturing capability, and Russia with their energy supplies. That America always believed as a threat. And that is why they decided not to well, to persuade Germany not to use or certify this pipeline. Now, naturally, when the Ukrainian and the Russian conflict started, all bets were off the table, and the Germans said, no, we're not going to certify Nord Stream 2 pipeline, even to the detriment of the German economy. And basically, that is what more or less happened. And when it was blown up, then everybody speculated, and everybody pointed their finger at the Americans. And I actually made a video and said, no, the Americans are not the only people that can do it or has an interest or a motive to do it. And I presented various other options, ranging from Poland to Ukraine to Germany, the Green Party or the left sector, or the British, which were like poodles to the Americans, and actually the Americans. But why would the Americans do it if they are the obvious culprit? It's like suspect. I mean, if you express your opinion towards it, then and it happens, then you are the first suspect in line, and everything will be done in order to verify that you are the suspect or the perpetrator. And I was a little bit against that assessment. And then I thought, okay, the next option would be the British. They would like to impress the Americans because they are sort of like the poodles. It's actually a disgrace how Britain behaves towards America, but that's not my problem and not my concern in any case. And my thoughts were that the British people might have done it. The other ones, Poland, they are crazy enough, but no, they wouldn't have done it. But they could have done it. They had a motive. They wanted to basically force Germany to pay them reparation to the 1.3 trillion euros for a Second World War damages. And the Germans said no, and well, that is a good motive to destroy the pipeline. And then there was Ukraine. Ukraine would lose revenue if the gas goes through the Nord Stream pipeline, not through Ukraine, and that would have a serious impact on their economy, and they will also lose a lot of control and leverage to ensure benefits from the euro. Well, in any case, it will help them to concessions from Europe, because they control a large part of the gas flow, the energy. And that was basically the narrative, and everybody pointed to America. America. Why? Because America is a huge gas supplier and was an LNG, and the LNG was always more expensive than the Russian gas, so America couldn't penetrate the European market, and that was basically the motive. But everybody forgot that all this gas that the Americans have comes from fracking, and fracking has a limited lifespan, and fracking is not a sustainable type of economy. So just from the point of sustained delivery of gas to Europe, that is going to be a problem. America is going to run out of gas, number one. Number two is the amount of gas that they are producing is insufficient to replace the Russian gas. So again, why would you then destroy these pipelines if you cannot fill the gap with your own gas? That is a very short-sighted type of view. So again, that's a reason why I never supported that America was a culprit. But in any case, and then this thing happened. Now watch, and nobody on the pro-Russian side has picked it up. They refer to this video, but nobody interprets this as this. For me, it's evidence. It's clear for me. But I will show you the clip, and then you can make your own decision. On the 22nd of December, just for instance, Putin also pointed his fingers at America. Also pointed his finger at America. So on the 22nd of December, Putin held a Q&A for the press. It was a small of a deviation what he usually does in the end of the year, but apparently he doesn't have time. And in this speech or this press conference, he was asked a question and he responded to that. And basically, he doesn't have enough time, and the situation is so fluid that it wouldn't be worthwhile. And everything he would have said in this press, in this big talk of him, he had already said before that. But in any case, so here's the video.
Друзья,
Северные потоки. Ну что, Северные потоки? Это теракт, это очевидно, все это признали. Но удивительно, это акт международного, я бы сказал, государственного терроризма. Почему? Потому что индивидуальные лица, частные лица, физические лица, самостоятельно, без поддержки государственных структур, совершить такие теракты не в состоянии. Ясно, что это было сделано при поддержке государств. И, как обычно в таких случаях говорят, смотри, кто заинтересован. Вот кто заинтересован в том, чтобы только через Украину проходила линия подачи газа российского на европейский рынок. Кто заинтересован в том, чтобы Украина получала деньги. Вот агрессор Россия, но денежки-то получают от нас за транзит. Мы же им платим. И несмотря на то, что они нас агрессорами называют, хотя сами агрессоры в отношении Донбасса, мы противодействуем агрессии, а не наоборот. Деньги-то берут. И ничего. Деньги не пахнут. Кто заинтересован в том, чтобы снабжение российским газом на Европу было только через Украину? Вот тот и взорвал. Никто не расследует. Мы один раз там имели возможность посмотреть на эти места взрывов и так далее. Ну, все это в прессе было, ничего повторять вы и так наверняка знаете. Но расследования-то нет полноценного. Никто не ведет. Удивительно. Но факт.
Well, that was the video. Did you catch the phrase that was important? It seems to me Putin has changed his mind from pointing the finger at America and starting to point the finger at Ukraine. And I believe the culprit that blew up the Nord Stream pipeline was Ukraine. And there are actually a number of reasons for that conclusion. Firstly off is that Zelensky has been claiming since February and moaning and bitching and threatening and do everything possible in order to stop the certification of the Nord Stream pipeline. And the reason what he always gave is that he wants Russia to use the gas pipelines through Ukraine so that Ukraine can still earn the transit fees. And that is part of their budget. And he kept on hammering on that. You can look at a lot of speeches he gave, but this was quite important for him. And actually, it is important for them. That's a huge source of income. I think, I'm speaking under correction, the value of that transit was about $2 billion a year, something like that. And that's a fair amount of money. So there was a motive, and Zelensky said it. And then the second event that is also important is when there was a sabotage of the Kerch Bridge. The Russian intelligence service identified the people that were behind the sabotage, that bomb on the bridge. And they specified the location, the town, the location, and that is what they identified. And they identified the British Navy involvement in that attack. And I think they also said that the British Navy was complicit in blowing up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline at that stage. But I didn't make anything more available. But that is the statements they made at that stage. And I think now, in my opinion, that the Russians have obtained significant intelligence and paperwork, documents that confirmed the suspicion. And I think they are fairly confident that it was the Ukrainian military or navy that blew up the pipeline. Just remember, Ukraine also has a navy. They have a so-called SEAL team. They they have divers. There are divers that can do it, and with the help of the British, they would have been totally capable of executing such a sabotage action. And thirdly, you can also now watch there's more and more sabotage actions performed by Ukrainian personnel. A lot of them are actually caught by the Russian intelligence, the FSB, but we still see sometimes some explosions happening in the Russia itself and in Crimea itself, and so on. So there are sabotage groups, active Ukrainian ones, and there is a good motive for Ukraine to blow it up. And I think the Russians got that type of intelligence to confirm it. And if they haven't confirmed it, they have a very high probability that those are the culprits. I thought that would be a nice video and information to finally, naturally, nobody will ever confirm 100% who done it. But it now seems to us, with a very, very high probability, it was Ukrainian forces. So I hope you like what you heard. Please subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends, spread the word. And ring the bell button so you get notified of the new video. And then until next time. Cheers.